The autumn breeze rustled through the maple trees outside my apartment as I stared at my laptop screen, the numbers blurring before my eyes. Another overdraft notice from the bank. I'm Michael Anderson, a successful software engineer at age 32, was broke. Not just regular broke, negative balance broke. The irony wasn't lost on me. I made 6 figures annually, lived modestly in a 1-bedroom apartment, drove a used Honda, and yet somehow I couldn't keep my head above water. My phone buzzed with a text from Mom. Family dinner tonight, 7 p.m. Don't be late like last time. Your sister has big news. I sighed, running my hands through my dark hair. Family dinners had become increasingly tense over the past year, ever since my younger sister, Sarah, had started her entrepreneurial journey. At 28, she decided her calling was to become a luxury lifestyle influencer. Our parents supported her dream wholeheartedly, especially when she convinced them she just needed some initial investment. That initial investment had somehow turned into me sending her $2,000 monthly from my savings. It started small, just helping with rent, then her car payments, then her business expenses. Every time I tried to say no, Mom would remind me how families should support each other, how Sarah had such potential, and how I was blessed with a good job. I checked my bank account one more time before closing my laptop. Balance, $3,247.89. My emergency fund was depleted, my credit cards were maxed out, and my investment account had been drained months ago. All to support Sarah's influencer lifestyle. The drive to my parents' suburban home felt longer than usual. Their house, once a symbol of warm family gatherings, now felt like a battlefield where I constantly had to defend my lack of generosity. I pulled into the driveway, noting Sarah's brand new Mercedes parked prominently out front, a car I unknowingly helped finance. Michael, you're finally here. Mom opened the door before I could knock. Her smile seemed strained, her eyes carrying that look I'd grown to dread, the one that said she needed something from me. Inside, the dining room was set with the good china, another bad sign. Dad sat at the head of the table, focused on his phone, while Sarah took selfies by the window, her designer dress probably costing more than my monthly rent. Oh, look who decided to show up, Sarah said, not looking up from her phone. I hope you're in a better mood than last time, brother dear. Last time, when I questioned why she needed an extra $5,000 for a business retreat that looked suspiciously like a luxury spa vacation on her Instagram. Sarah has wonderful news, Mom announced as we sat down. She's been approached by a major brand for a collaboration. That's great, I said cautiously, serving myself some potatoes. Does this mean you'll be able to support yourself now? The temperature in the room seemed to drop several degrees. Mom's smile tightened. Dad finally looked up from his phone, and Sarah's perfectly made-up face twisted into a frown. Actually, Sarah said, her voice sweet as honey but laced with venom, the brand wants me to increase my social media presence. I'll need to upgrade my wardrobe, maybe move to a better apartment. You know, for the aesthetic. I set down my fork. And let me guess, you need more money. Michael, Mom interjected, your sister is building her future. Is $2,000 a month really such a burden with your salary? That was it, the last straw. Maybe it was the overdraft notices, maybe it was Sarah's smirk, or maybe I've finally reached my breaking point. I pulled out my phone. You want to talk about money, Mom? Let's talk about money. I connected my phone to their smart TV, something I'd helped set up years ago. My banking app appeared on the screen. What are you doing? Sarah's voice had lost its sweetness, showing everyone exactly how much of a burden I've been carrying. I started scrolling through my transaction history. Let's see, $2,000 monthly transfers to Sarah, extra $5,000 for her business retreat, $7,000 for her emergency apartment deposit when she got evicted, $3,000 for marketing materials, which turned out to be a designer handbag. That's private. Sarah stood up, her face flushing. Oh, we're not done. I continued scrolling. Remember the $10,000 for your website development? Funny how that went toward your Bahamas trip. Yes, I saw the Instagram posts. Or the $15,000 for business equipment that mysteriously coincided with your Mercedes down payment. Mom's face had gone pale. Dad set down his phone, his expression unreadable. In the past year alone, I've given Sarah $897,000. almost all my savings, my emergency fund, maxed out credit cards. And what do I have to show for it? An overdrawn bank account and a sister who still demands more. You're just jealous, Sarah spat. Jealous that I'm building something while you waste away in your boring tech job. Building what exactly? I pulled up her social media analytics. Being in tech had its advantages. You have 3,000 followers, most of them bought. Your engagement rate is below 1%. You haven't posted actual business content in months. It's all luxury hotels, designer clothes, and exotic vacations. Pay for with my money. Michael, Mom's voice trembled. Surely you're exaggerating. Sarah wouldn't. Check her Instagram, Mom. Every luxury item she's flaunting. Every business expense she's claimed. I have the receipts. All of them. I pulled up a folder on my phone. Document after document appeared on the TV screen. Bank transfers, credit card statements, text messages where Sarah begged for money with increasingly elaborate excuses. This ends now, I said firmly. No more monthly transfers. No more emergency funds. No more financing your fantasy lifestyle. Sarah's face contorted with rage. You can't do this to me. Mom, Dad, tell him he can't. But our parents sat in stunned silence, the evidence of their daughter's deception playing out on the screen before them. I've already contacted my bank, I continued. I've reported all unauthorized transfers, yes, Sarah, including those times you used my card without permission. I've frozen my credit cards and changed all my passwords. You'll regret this, Sarah hissed, grabbing her designer bag, bought with my money, and storming toward the door. Family is supposed to support each other. Support goes both ways, Sarah, and you've never supported anyone but yourself. After Sarah slammed the door, silence fell over the dining room. The untouched food grew cold as my parents struggled to process what they just learned. We had no idea, Mom finally whispered. We thought she was really building a business. You believed what you wanted to believe, I replied, standing up. And it almost cost me everything. As I walked to my car that night, my phone buzzed with messages from Sarah. Threats, guilt trips, promises to change. I deleted them all. For the first time in years, I felt lighter, despite my empty bank account. Sometimes losing money is the price you pay to find your self-respect. This was just the beginning. Sarah wouldn't go down without a fight, and our parents would have to choose sides. But as I drove home under the autumn stars, I knew I'd made the right choice. No more enabling. No more silent suffering. No more watching my sister build her fantasy life on the ruins of mine. The real question was, what would tomorrow bring? Because in families like mine, the truth doesn't end conflicts. It only begins them. The aftermath of the family dinner explosion hit like a tsunami. By morning, my phone was flooded with messages, not just from Sarah and my parents, but from extended family members who'd somehow gotten involved. Aunt Lisa, how could you humiliate your sister like that? Uncle Bob, family matters should stay private. Cousin Emma. Sarah's crying all over social media about her abusive brother. I opened Instagram to find that Sarah had already spun her narrative, a tearful selfie with perfect makeup, captioned, "Sometimes those closest to you hurt you the most. My own brother trying to destroy my dreams out of jealousy. #ToxicFamily, #healing, #prayers." The comments section was flooded with her followers offering support, calling me names, sending heart emojis. None of them knew they were essentially sympathizing with someone who had systematically drained her brother's life savings. My phone rang. Mom again. Her 5th call since morning. This time I answered. Michael. Her voice was strained. We need to talk about this. Sarah's a mess. She says without your support, all her business connections will fall through. What business connections, Mom? Did you not see the evidence last night? She says she can explain everything. If you just meet with us. No, I cut her off firmly. I'm done with meetings that turn into ambushes. I'm done being Sarah's personal ATM. But she's your sister. And I'm your son. Did you ever once ask how I was doing? How I managed to send her all that money? Did you notice I haven't bought new clothes in 2 years? That I've been working overtime just to keep up with her demands? Silence on the other end. I have to go, Mom. I have a meeting with my bank about the fraudulent charges. After hanging up, I drove to the bank. The fraud department had flagged several suspicious transactions on my accounts. Times when Sarah had apparently helped herself to my money without even asking. The bank officer, A sympathetic woman named Diana looked through the records. Mr. Anderson, these transactions. Some of them appear to have been made using your digital banking credentials. Did you share your passwords with anyone? My stomach dropped. I remembered Sarah borrowing my phone last Christmas, saying she needed to check something. Had she really gone that far? I need all my accounts secured, I said. New passwords, new cards, everything. As Diana helped me protect what little I had left, my phone kept buzzing. Sarah had moved from Instagram to Twitter, posting cryptic messages about financial abuse and toxic masculinity. Some of her followers were now deeming me hate messages. Leaving the bank, I found a text from Dad. Son, I know you're hurt, but this has gone too far. Your mother can't sleep. Come home tonight. Let's fix this as a family. Fix this as a family. The same approach that had gotten us here, sweeping things under the rug, making peace at any cost, usually at my expense. I texted back, I'll come when Sarah's ready to pay back what she stole. His response came quickly. You know she can't pay it back. She's just starting her career. Just then, my phone pinged with a notification. Sarah had posted a new Instagram story from a luxury spa. The caption, self-care is essential when dealing with family trauma. #blessed. The location tag showed a high-end resort that charged $500 per night minimum. Where was she getting the money now? I got my answer an hour later when my aunt called. Michael, I'm worried about Sarah. She came to me crying, saying she needed help with her business. I lent her some money. My heart sank. How much? Just $10,000. She showed me her business plan. It looked very professional. Aunt Karen, that business plan? It's fake. She's been using the same PDF for a year, just changing the dates. Please cancel that transfer if you can. But it was too late. Sarah had already moved on to her next target, armed with tears and promises, leaving financial destruction in her wake. That evening, I received an email from Sarah's business manager, an obviously fake account, threatening legal action for defamation and business interference. The email was riddled with grammatical errors and read like something Sarah would write herself. I forwarded it to my lawyer friend Jack, who called me laughing. This is the most amateur legal threat I've ever seen. Want me to respond? Please do. An hour later, Sarah was blowing up my phone. Jack's response had apparently hit home. A detailed list of her fraudulent activities and the potential criminal charges she could face. But while I'd stopped the bleeding from my own accounts, I realized Sarah wouldn't stop. She'd just find new victims, new sources of cash to fund her fake influencer lifestyle. The question was, how far would she go? And more importantly, how far would I go to stop her? As I sat in my apartment that night, looking at my negative bank balance and collection of unpaid bills, I made a decision. If Sarah wanted to play this game, I could play too. I had evidence of every transaction, every lie, every manipulation, and unlike her, my story was true. I opened my laptop and began to write. The true cost of family, how my sister stole $897,000 and called it love. Sometimes the only way to fight a false narrative is with the truth, no matter how much it hurts. Tomorrow would bring more drama, more accusations, more family members taking sides. But for the first time since this all began, I wasn't afraid. I had something Sarah didn't have, the truth. And I was finally ready to use it. My blog post went live at midnight. By morning, it had already been shared thousands of times. I'd included screenshots of transactions, copies of Sarah's manipulative texts, and a detailed timeline of how she'd systematically drained my accounts while building her fake influencer empire. The response was overwhelming. Hundreds of comments from people who'd experienced similar situations with family members. Messages from real influencers exposing Sarah's fake followers and purchased engagement rates. Even a few journalists wanting to cover the story. Sarah's response was nuclear. At 9:47 a.m., she went live on Instagram, mascara strategically smeared, designer clothes replaced by a plain sweater, the perfect picture of a victim. My brother, she sobbed into the camera, is trying to destroy me because he's jealous of my success. He offered to help with my business, and now he's twisting everything. I'm afraid for my safety. I watched the performance with a mix of amazement and disgust. In the background of her video, I could see the luxury spa she was somehow still affording. Then came the family reaction. Mom called first. Take down that horrible blog immediately. Do you want to ruin your sister's life? Like she ruined mine? I reply calmly, my credit is destroyed, Mom. I'm in debt. Meanwhile, Sarah's at a 5-star resort playing victim. She says she'll go to the police. Good. Let her. I have proof of every fraudulent transaction. Dad's message was different. Son, I looked at the numbers you posted. Is it really that bad? Check your own accounts, Dad. Has Sarah asked you for money too? The silence on his end was telling. By afternoon, the story had taken an unexpected turn. Someone had dug up Sarah's old social media posts, the ones where she bragged about manipulating people for money, screenshots of her asking followers to help her practice forging signatures, even a deleted YouTube video where she explained how to borrow family members' credit card information. Her carefully crafted victim narrative was unraveling. Then came the email from Diana at the bank. Subject line: urgent. Additional fraudulent activities discovered. My hands shook as I opened it. The bank's investigation had uncovered something worse than I'd imagined. Sarah hadn't just stolen from me. She opened credit cards in my name, used my social security number, created fake business documents with my forged signature. The total damage wasn't $897,000. It was over $1.2 million. I felt physically sick. Just then, my doorbell rang. Outside stood Aunt Karen, looking pale. Michael, I need to show you something. She handed me a stack of papers, loan documents, credit card statements, second mortgage papers. Sarah had convinced our aunt to take out loans for her business, using the same tactics she used on me. I trusted her. Aunt Karen's voice broke. She said it was just temporary, that the brand deals were coming through. I made us both coffee while Aunt Karen detailed how Sarah had manipulated her. The same pattern: emotional manipulation, promises of huge returns, guilt trips about family loyalty. I'm going to the police, I said finally. This isn't just fraud anymore. It's identity theft. She needs to be stopped. Aunt Karen nodded slowly. I'll go with you. I'll tell them everything. As we prepared to leave, my phone buzzed with a text from Dad. Don't leave the house. Coming over. Found something you need to see. 20 minutes later, Dad arrived carrying his laptop and a box of old financial documents. I've been going through everything, he said, looking older than I'd ever seen him. Sarah, she's been doing this for years, even before the influencer thing. Look. He opened files showing Sarah had been stealing from our parents' retirement accounts. Small amounts at first, then larger sums, all hidden under the guise of business investments and emergency loans. Your mother doesn't know yet. Dad's voice was heavy. She still wants to believe Sarah's version, but I can't ignore this anymore. As the three of us sat in my living room, me, Dad, and Aunt Karen, comparing notes and gathering evidence, another notification popped up on my phone. Sarah had posted again, but this time it was different. A single line. You want war, brother? Let's see who survives. Attached was a screenshot of my private medical records, information she must have gotten when she stole my identity. She was threatening to expose personal details about my therapy sessions, my medications, everything. But she'd made a crucial mistake. Accessing medical records fraudulently? That was federal territory now. Dad saw the post and something in him finally broke. Let's go, he said, standing up. We're going to the police. All of us. Right now. As we drove to the police station, I received one last message from Mom. Please stop this. She's your sister. Whatever she did, we can work it out privately. But we were long past private family solutions. This had become something else entirely. A lesson in how far someone would go to maintain their lies, and how much damage family loyalty could cause when it became a weapon. The truth was coming out, whether Sarah was ready or not. And this time, no amount of tearful Instagram posts could stop it. The police station loomed ahead, and with it, the point of no return. Sometimes, protecting your family means protecting them from themselves, even if it breaks everyone's heart in the process. 1 year later, I sat in my new office, looking out at the city skyline. Life had changed dramatically since that fateful family dinner. My blog post, The True Cost of Family, had gone viral, reaching millions of readers worldwide. It spawned a podcast series about financial abuse within families, and I'd become an unexpected voice for others who'd experienced similar situations. The most surprising change, however, came from within my own family. 2 months after I published my story, Sarah hit rock bottom. Her credit cards were maxed out, no relatives would lend her money, and her influencer career had crumbled under scrutiny. She was forced to sell her Mercedes, move out of her luxury apartment, and face reality. Then, something unexpected happened. She got help, real help. A therapist specializing in financial addiction and narcissistic behavior patterns. It wasn't an instant transformation, but it was a start. I received an email from her 6 months into her therapy. Dear Michael, I don't expect forgiveness. What I did was unconscionable. I've spent months working through why I did what I did, the need for validation, the addiction to luxury, the jealousy I felt toward your success. I'm not asking for money or help. I just want you to know I'm trying to change. I've started a real job, a normal 9 to 5. It's not glamorous, but it's honest work. Sarah. I didn't respond immediately, but I kept tabs on her through Dad. She'd taken an entry-level position at a marketing firm, moved into a modest apartment with a roommate, and was slowly paying back our relatives what she could. Mom and Dad had gone through their own transformation. After the initial shock wore off, they sought family counseling to understand their role in enabling Sarah's behavior. Mom's constant calls for money stopped. Instead, she called just to check on me, to ask about my day, to share recipes, normal mother-son stuff. Dad surprised everyone by becoming an advocate for financial literacy in families. He started teaching a community college course on family finances and healthy boundaries. I failed both my children, he told me once. I failed Sarah by never setting limits, and I failed you by making you carry that burden. I'm trying to help other parents avoid my mistakes. Today marked a significant milestone. For the first time since the confrontation, we were having a family dinner at my new house. I'd managed to rebuild my savings thanks to the success of my advocacy work and some smart investments. The house wasn't luxurious, but it was mine, bought with honest money and hard work. The doorbell rang. Sarah stood there, holding a homemade casserole, dressed simply in jeans and a sweater. No designer bags, no flashy jewelry. I wasn't sure I should come, she said softly. You were invited, I replied, taking the casserole. Mom and Dad arrived next, and we gathered around my dining table. The conversation was tentative at first, but gradually warmed. Sarah shared stories about her new job, her therapy progress, her budgeting victories. Mom talked about her volunteer work at a financial literacy program for young women. Dad beamed with pride at both of us. Before dessert, Sarah cleared her throat. I have something for you, Michael. She handed me an envelope. Inside was a check for $5,000 and a payment plan for the rest of what she owed me. It's not much, she said, but it's a start. My therapist helped me work out a realistic repayment schedule. It'll take years, but I'll pay back every penny. I looked at the check, then at my sister, really looked at her. The entitled, superficial influencer wannabe was gone. In her place sat someone humbled, changed, real. Keep it, I said, handing the check back. Use it to build your future, your real future this time. Tears welled in her eyes. I don't deserve your forgiveness. Maybe not, I agreed, but you've earned a second chance. As we finished dinner, I realized that sometimes the happy ending isn't about getting back everything you lost. Sometimes it's about building something new from the ashes of what was destroyed. Our family would never be the same, but maybe, just maybe, we could be something better. The sun set over my new backyard, casting long shadows across the dinner table where my healing family sat together, sharing dessert and genuine laughter. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. And sometimes that's the happiest ending of all.